one Warp Prism, starting to take damage as he juggles.
The Phoenix, once again, gets it so low right there. But it looks like Zest at the end of the day is going to end up holding.
It looks like he does at the very end of that, take out that Warp Prism. But, man, a back-and-forth game here. So Zest right now in pursuit of these two remaining Stalkers. These Stalkers should manage to get away. But, yeah, we are back to 3-base versus 3-base, 91 supply to 63.
Ooh.
With now that's probably the most important point
to
make here is even though, it's even on economics, it doesn't seem like it's even as far as who has blood.
No, certainly. Like, look, 5 probes more, you can live with that. But the fact that he has 9 more Stalkers, that's too much, right?
Yeah.
That's really tough for MC to be able to do anything against. Now, I love this. He's trying to buy himself some time, doing some adept harassment, forcing Stalker Warp-ins at home.
He's actually
but he's got to do more than that.
Yeah, he's even out the probe count here. But, I'm worried that overall the core army here from Zest is in the long run going to be stronger.
It really is. Look at that army. It's so strong, so scary. MC is trying to harass,
Nice play by MC, even sending those 2 Stalkers down there. We just got a brief shot of that on camera, but sending those 2 Stalkers down and trying to hit the probes to that Nexus, hoping to hit Zest wherever he's not.
Thing is, if Zest's whole army comes to bear on MC right now, MC dies, so he has to try to force Zest to do Warp-ins at home, to defend at home, not micro as well against him up here. Because look, he just has less units, and Zest is continuing to come up here.
Okay, this is interesting. He actually chose to attack in between the second and the third. This can mess up reinforcements coming in here for MC. The angle actually much better for Zest. Zest then dives into the third base right now, and it looks like he just might have enough to break MC.
MC just does not have enough Stalkers to hold on. 20 more Stalkers for Zest, and that's going to be a GG.
Damn, a back-and-forth game there. But ultimately, it is Zest who triumphs over MC in game number 1.
Yeah, look, the counterattack by MC, I understand why he did it. He had a little advantage, but he lost too many of his Stalkers. And when you're both just sitting there making mass Stalkers, if someone gets a massive lead on that, Zest had 10 more Stalkers at the end, that's it. That's it. They have 10 more Stalkers, and that's the tech you're on.
Well, that was a close game. It was, I think, as most of us would have predicted, a victory there for Zest. But MC definitely showing he is capable of beating Zest there.
Yeah,
there was definitely moments where Zest overextended. MC fought him off. I think that counterattack was unwise from him. I think he probably should have gone for harass, maybe in the second and then poking into the third.
Yeah.
But, I get
like draw him around with a prism or something like that.
Something like that.
Maybe, utilize a tech advantage. But, look, I'm a little bit worried for him, though, because he got one of the bigger advantages you can get in PvP at the beginning by going Phoenix against Oracle. The Oracle got 2 kills, did nothing for him. Zest was in a terribly, terribly hard spot, but he played his way out of it.
That's very important to actually take note of, because the beginnings of that game did not lead itself to look like the end result that we actually had. So, I mean, that just shows how resilient Zest is in a game like that where, I mean, you guys have all experienced this, like if you try to go for some kind of harass or drop and it doesn't do anything and you lose it, normally you lose that game, right?
Yeah,
unless you're way better than your opponent.
Like you gotta have some deep ass understanding to come back in a way like we just saw from Zest.
Right.
He did that fantastically. He took the risky move of the Adepts, made it pay off immediately. Fantastic game out of Zest there.
All right, guys, we are going into game number 2 right now. This is Zest versus MC. Zest is up with 1 win. Get out there and tell your friends to join us here on the GSL Codex. This is day 1. We got many weeks of StarCraft action in store for you guys. It's going to be sick.
You guys are spoiled rotten.
That's right,
I swear to God.
What a time to be alive.
You better say
StarCraft's on TV. All right, we are going now into game number 2. The map is Dusk Towers.
The old standby Tasteless. Let's do it.
Let's do it, guys. Our game is loading up. Again, this is a best of 3. And right now, MC has not won a game, and Zest is up with 1 win. So let's get ready for game number 2, Zest versus MC. Over here in the blue, he is
KT Rolster, Zest.
In the upper left, in the red, he is
CJ Entis, MC.
What if his name wasn't MC? It was just
Mick?
Yeah, like McDonald's or something.
Yeah. Oh, it's
Oh my
Engine.
God, it's Engine.
Yeah. He's a former GSL caster from the very beginning, guys.
Super nice dude.
Yeah,
very
super
friendly
intelligent.
to me when I first moved out here. Very good to see him down here. Very good at English.
Ridiculously good gamer. Just like really good gamer.
Also
and everything.
tall and handsome.
Yeah.
You know, let's not leave that
He's
out.
so much like Artosis, it's scary.
It's
actually.
scary, yeah. I think it's more like Artosis is so much like him, but yeah, you know, it's weird.
Oh.
All right, guys. I'm a little bit worried for MC Artosis. I feel like this might be a 2-0.
I think you're probably right, just based on
And
how
I
the
think
openings
that's
were.
kind of the way it was supposed to be.
Yeah.
From California, thank you for coming down, guys. We got a good number of people here for day one of GSL Code S.
Yeah. A lot of people have shown up today. Well, I mean, this group is insane. The boss toss and the champion. That's all you need. Like, even if it was over after this game, the whole night was over,
The whole
no one would.
GSL's over.
No one would regret it.
If the GSL was simply boiled down to a best-of-3 show match with Zest versus MC with no prize pool.
That's fine.
Yeah, that's fine.
Hey, I
Yeah.
mean, everyone's still going to tune into that, right?
Yeah, of course. Why not?
But yeah, man, what a great day. What a great time to be alive. Let's take a look at what these guys are going for. Looks like Zest with a very fast expansion here. I think I saw during the intros that he had his probe up in the base very quickly, kind of denying gases, maybe delaying a Nexus there for MC in the back as well. It's very annoying if you don't wall immediately and they get the probe in your base. That's something, it's gross to try to deal with.
This is actually forced MC into an aggressive play. Now, this is pretty interesting. Note, he did take off all the shields on that pylon, and I think like 30% of its health or something like that. So MC is going to go for a straight-up rush. Now, this is going to be very important to see how well this is actually held here, or if it's held at all. Because when you do a rush like this, MC is like super committing, guys. He's all in. He's all in.
Yeah, this is really big. He is not hiding this whatsoever. He is going to start to bust through. Izzat and his Stalker already on the way. Of course, the Mothership Core is here. This is very important for Zest. When does he use this? Okay, he does throw it down.
And he's starting to hit these pylons.
If he got the Mothership Core!
He got away. Very close call, though. Kind of surprised MC actually put the cannon down on that pylon that was already damaged. He takes out this one pylon. This means there's only one pylon remaining here for MC to try to continue to do this push. He still has the option to make more pylons because that probe is just to the left of the Nexus, the gateway, rather.
Now, we do have two Stalkers up on the high ground here for Zest, but of course, MC has been building to attack, whereas Zest took an expansion, so this is tough.
Now, keep in mind, if he loses his pylon, that gateway's unpowered. The Stalker barely gets out in time.
Oh my God, he didn't
and
finish
Warp
Warp
Gate's not
Gate.
finished.
This is a big deal for MC right now. He's starting to punch through. Just be careful about this, though. He's fighting against three Stalkers there. Nice micro, though. Picks off two of them so far. Of course, Zest just needs his Warp Gate to finish so badly.
Speaking of which, Warp Gate just finished here for MC, so the Warp-ins are going to be coming out here. This may snowball right now.
Oh, is he going to get that Mothership Core? That's a big kill.
Out.
That's a big kill right there. Now, we are going to have that Warp Gate finish up for Zest. Very, very important indeed. More gateways coming up as well, but
he needs Warp
MC
Gate.
already has 4 Warp Gates.
Yeah, well, this is the problem, is that you can warp in so quickly. Now, note, where does he attack here? Okay, he's going to go for pylons again. You know, it's not clear how many pylons each player has, but it's possible that you can get him in a supply block or they can't warp in, and that can end up winning the game for you as well.
He just has more Stalkers at the moment. The probe's coming down, but he's not going to be able to out-micro that. He's going to try to use his Stalkers on the high ground with the probe zoning, but I don't think it's going to be enough.
Yeah, he's having to sack probes here. He's having to feed probes to his opponent. There's no Mothership Core, though, over here. So that's another problem here for MC. But it looks like there's just enough Stalkers, and he takes out that Sentry.
Wow.
GG! We're tied up 1-1.
So nicely done. A very well-executed rush here by MC.
You got to wonder if Zest was regretting setting out that probe. He forced MC to attack. MC took it and won the game.
Yeah, you know, that's such a strong way to play. If you go all in on Dust Towers, half the time the guy is going to have expanded behind his wall. So, I mean, you're going to be able to catch him a lot of time. Good micro by MC, good execution. And Zest looking at this game and saying, I almost lost game 1, I lost game 2. What is going on here? Is this GSL like the old days as a champion go out in the round of 32 tastes?
It's possible, Artie. It's possible. Times are a-changing. All right, guys, it's going to come down to just one more game with these two guys.
Oh, and the map tasteless.
What map is it?
Frozen Temple.
Oh, wow.
PvP, this map can be crazy. That expansion.
There's a lot you can do on this map. There's a lot of different directions the game can go on Frozen Temple.
Force fields are ridiculously powerful against the expansion. So we see a lot of like immortal all-ins, force field-based types of all-in and stuff. the map can be very crazy indeed. So this is a Vault one, and this is the map that MC took out Zest on in Pro League.
All right, guys. It's down to this one match between these two. Zest versus MC. I don't know, man, who takes this, or does this?
This is such a hard one. I think this is a perfect map for MC to finish this series up on. Zest, I think if he expands, he's going to die. I think he needs to tech to something before expanding.
Okay, he needs to do some kind of harass,
he just
maybe
needs,
with like an Oracle or something.
He needs one
to get
tech
into late
building
game
before they expand.
Okay.
That's my opinion. If
All
he
right,
does that,
guys.
he wins.
Get ready for game number 3, Zest versus MC, for tonight's day 1 of the GSL Codex. In the bottom right, in the blue, the Warp Prism and a Hot 6 can. Are we doing that every time the game starts, or is this us getting graphics wrong over here?
I don't know.
I don't know.
You know
I
the
have
same
no
as
idea.
me.
Yeah.
KT
In
Rollster.
fact,
Zest.
the guys in the chat at home know the same as us too.
Yeah,
like,
you
we've
guys know
seen
about
it.
as
I'm
much
like,
as we
yeah, I
do.
don't know, maybe.
I guess we'll know by day 3 or 4. We
Yeah.
gotta. So yeah, there it is. There he is, I should say. Zest.
Now you can call him in it. He's basically
Emperor God.
Yeah, he doesn't necessarily have like a gender or anything. Like he's a god.
CJ Entis. MC.
And here is MC. I don't even know who's the fan favorite here.
Oh, I
You
know, right?
It's like they're both so good. Their play is so inspirational.
Yeah.
And there's a photorealistic drawing of both of them. That's exactly how they look.
Yeah. Oh, I don't know who the fan. It's a good question. Like maybe if you're an older fan, it's MC. If you're a new fan, it's Zest. For me personally, like I study Zest more than I've studied anyone since Rain. But I mean, MC winning would be the greatest thing ever. And I'm not going to lie about that, man. Like,
Oh my God! If MC won this season of GSL,
well, that
the
like,
internet would break.
only like a Stork or a Flash is on that same type of level where I'm like, well, this is stupidly good.
Yeah.
Like, if MC gets the finals, man, like. It's gonna break the internet. Just, I mean, who doesn't know who MC is? Who hasn't
I think
heard of the Boss Toss?
everybody in esports knows who MC is.
Yeah.
But of course, if you're somebody that's new to StarCraft 2, I know we got a lot of new users here in Legacy. Of course, Zest is going to be your muse.
Yeah.
You know?
Absolutely. He's like the best player in the world. He's just so good. Okay. I love this. Zest opening with a couple of depths. I think that's really important.
Yeah.
He needs to be able to put on pressure, get some scouting done.
So, I think he's kind of going back to what he did in Game 1 because that worked for him. It seems like if he gets late enough into the game, he's fine.
Yeah.
And that's actually true for a lot of very good players. That's why occasionally you'll see somebody try to cheese out another player. It's like, well, if I let him get too many probes, if I let him get too much tech there, he's just better than me. And you got to remember, guys, I mean, there's always those people that will complain when somebody cheeses or doesn't all in. You got to do what you got to do to win. There's never been a champion who hasn't done some kind of crazy cheese or fake. A good StarCraft player is also a good liar.
Oh,
you got to be
I
able,
like that a lot.
I mean, people talk about mechanics and strategy. StarCraft players, this game teaches you how to lie. It teaches you how to deceive your opponent. It teaches you how to force them to reveal facts.
Yeah, and some players lie better than others.
Yeah, that's
like
true.
SOS.
Yeah, oh no, SOS is like
This guy's a sociopath.
Yeah, that guy's a pathological liar.
By the way, MC has brought a very old build back right now. He's gone one gate with a Oracle into 2 more gates. This is a great build against what he's up against.
Yeah.
I like his position here. I like that Zest did grab the double Adept to try to get some information, but with this wall-in trick that MC kept using, Zest doesn't actually know what's coming. So this is really dangerous. He's making a robo that doesn't help against Oracles. There's a second Oracle on the way. Like, originally, 3-gate Oracle was the counter. Oh my God, he's going to hit these as well.
That block was so sick.
Yeah.
Okay. He
was
just fished that right in.
This build was originally the counter to fast expansions in Heart of the Swarm. And MC is from that time. He knows how to play it. This could be very good for him.
And the build, a little bit of an anachronism here, but it might work.
Yeah.
We've seen this before, man.
It's
It's
kind
of like how we're seeing, remember when cannon rushes were suddenly the craze? A few years back, it's like everybody just started cannon rushing each other. And the thing is, like, cannon rushes, you can stop them if you know how to deal with it. But if they've been out of style for a little bit, you can throw a lot of people off with it.
Yeah.
And this is going to be one of these older builds that MC's bringing out here. but it does mean that there is a time limit on how long this game can go if MC is going to win. He has to win this in the next few minutes.
He has to be careful with these oracles as well. Okay, he comes in with both of them,
that
and he's
is
sniping
really
a
good.
lot.
Look at that. He is actually optimizing that damage so well.
He doesn't want to lose this one. He doesn't want to lose this one.
No, he needs to keep this one alive. Okay, he gets it out.
He can lose one, I guess, but he can't lose two. That would be like a game-ending move.
Oh, man, that was really good by Zest. But they all got away.
Yeah, you only lost one there.
I think the majority of them only lost shields as well. But again, there's a time limit on this game. MC has to end it. Because if Zest just lasts for the next few minutes,
there's an Immortal that just popped out. That is such a big deal against his Stalker-based army,
key.
too. That is such a big deal. Now, I believe this is the last overcharge.
I think you're right.
Which makes
I think it is. Yeah.
It makes the push a hell of a lot stronger. But that Immortal and the probes that he can pull really can fudge the math on this.
Okay, another poke in here. It's almost to the point in time where this push is not going to work anymore.
Yeah.
If a second Immortal comes out, MC might have to
this is
tap out.
Really good micros so far, by the way, from Zest. I believe he deactivated the auto barrier so that he can barrier this Immortal right when he needs it too. It's such an important part of this battle. Now here we go. We have MC kind of pushing up, poking as much as he can. He's getting great volleys off here.
Okay, he's going to commit. If you do the time warp, you're normally going to have to commit.
Oh, man, and he's actually getting a lot of free shots right there. He doesn't want to be hit by this Photon Overcharge. Oh, man, I wish he would have sniped that one.
I know. That one Stalker got away. I mean, every little shot that's fired here is important.
Dude, he's up 5 Stalkers. He might be able to break it.
Well, the angle's pretty good, though, man. The angle's like really good right now for Zest. MC is trying to go through a bottleneck. He actually is going to be able to.
Ooh,
oh my God! Misfire there for a second on the Immortal. And he's going to take out the Mothership Core, and we're kind of starting to see things fall apart.
Yeah, a little bit. He does rally have 3 more Stalkers, though, and this is a pretty good concave. He's starting to get some good targeting. The Oracle comes in from behind, getting some nice targeting down here on the Stalkers.
Oh my God, he actually might have done it.
Oh my God.
But here comes that Immortal coming down the ramp right now.
Zest just barely holding on by the skin of his teeth at the moment, utilizing this Immortal really well. But MC with the micro, perfect barrier does go off. He's picking up a lot of these Stalkers.
It's 4 versus 2 right now. More reinforcements are coming in. He did it! GG! Oh my God!
Oh my God!
That was not supposed to happen!
Nerd chills.
Oh my God! Did we just see MC beat the champion?
Holy moly!
Whoa!
Oh
Unreal.
my God!
I did not think that was going to happen.
I got the sickest chills. Tasteless, hold me close.
Wow.
MC, the boss toss.
MC just beats us in the best of 3.
Best of 3,
with
man.
2 rushes.
Yeah.
Oh,
look,
man.
MC, like, he's bringing back some older builds. He's playing really well. Look, that was really smart. Like I was saying, this is a perfect map for MC to clean this up on. If Zest doesn't make a tech building before his expansion.
And here's the thing.
He
so
almost
cool about
held it, but
here's the thing. He knew his odds were very low for winning in late game.
Yeah.
So don't play late game.
Yeah, no reason.
Just rush. Just rush.
And
this is how MC was beating Terrence like 5 years ago.
That map, like, rushes are so good. You see that choke, you can get such an arc out there. It's really hard to utilize your pylons and have your Stalkers spread. You just can't have as big a spread.
It's when that one Oracle got in there and got on top. Because the damage that's going out is way too fast. And he waited.
And he has to
He did
target
not
that
get too greedy. He did not send the Oracle in immediately. He waited until he had the right number of Stalkers. His opponent was in an odd spot, flew it right over there. It did the damage, and that tilted the scale in MC's favor.
Yeah, dude. He just beat the defending GSL champion in a best of 3.
I know.
Oh, Codas.
Life is good. Codas, man. We are going to go to a short break. When we come back, we're going to continue on with day 1 of the GSL Codas. Stay tuned.
맑고 깨끗하게 피어나라고 겨울을 이겨낸 봄꽃이 내게 말했다. 맑고 깨끗한 칠성사이다.
짬뽕이네.
와,
맛있는 거.
근데 어디서 시킨 거요? 그거 시킨 거 아닌데. 어떻게 볶음 진짬뽕인데? 어떻게 볶음 진짬뽕? 볶음 뜬 짬뽕, 볶음 뜬 짬뽕.
참말로 화끈하네.
볶음 진짬뽕 외에는 절대 현혹되지 마소.
이렇게 해가지고 사진 찍어도 되고요. 이게 소리까지 돼요. 불러주셔야 가죠. 여러분 나 이거 너무 재밌어서 하는 거예요. 여러분 얼른 다운로드 받으시기 바랍니다. 오케이. 동영상 모드로 인스타에 직접 올려볼게요. 와, 진짜 너무 예쁘다. 아, 다시 태어난 기분이야. 안녕하세요. 이게 진짜 짱이야. 딱딱 닮았다. 슬로캠이었습니다, 여러분들. 많이 다운로드 고고.
오늘은 바베큐 장난 아니야. 항정살, 오겹살, 야, 어머 맨열 진짜 맛있어요. 오겹살, 항정살, 쌈장 딱 해가지고 웬만하면 참으려고 했는데 메타그린이랑 같이 있으니까 먹어도 됩니다. 밥이다. 오늘의 주인공 파우치는 세정 메타그린과 함께 다음 주에 굵기 쫙 빠진 저희 모습도 기대해 주시고요. 안녕.
거의 게임 마스터. 무슨 게임을 하더라도 뭐 기본 이상.
네.
지금 그걸 연습할 때가 아닙니다. 그렇습니다. 이렇게 하는 거예요. 이겼나?
이겼나 이거?
추가 시간. 좋아. 자리야 킬. 나이스!
드디어!
소나님이랑 닮았다는 소리는 좀 듣는데
네네네.
LW팀 소개합니다. 저를 키우는 게 보통이 아니거든요. 파이팅! 나이스! 공 한번 쓰죠.
한 번 이겼어요.
나이스!
와! 이겼어. 야! 어디?
개인 방송에서도 할 의향이 있어요.
방패 정도는
아, 우리 범 선수에 다시 한번 박수 치면서.
저 박수를 한번.
이거 산장 미팅이냐? 이게 뭐라 그러지? 긴장이 되죠? 느낌 왔어! 자, 들어가자. 지금이야! 마무리야!
오버워치
파이팅!
우리 올리브영에서 드디어 루이조를 변화시키기 위해 우리 아프리카와 함께 루이조 변화시키기 대장정이 들어갔어요. 이게 스타일 옴무 제품입니다. 피부 밝아지는 것 같은데? 와, 이름이 올리브영 클라스구나. 러머띠. 와우! 영국 스타일. 근데 멋있네. 나가면 번호 따일 것 같은데? 여기서 마무리할게요. 우리 제품은 올리브영 제품이었습니다.
이게 일단은 라운드라고 올리브영에서 파는 건데 향기는 복숭아 향기가 나요. 제가 복숭아 향기를 되게 좋아하거든요. 책상 앞에 두면서 향기를 맡는 걸로 라즈베리를 한번 발라보도록 하겠습니다. 이렇게 생겼어요. 색깔이 색깔이 마음에 들어. 뽀뽀하고 싶은 입술, 그쵸? 이 모든 제품은 다 올리브영에서 구매가 가능하시고요.
미소가 생기다. 화사함이 생기다. 건강한 하루가 생기다. pH 8.0과 풍부한 미네랄로 핑크빛 생기가 생기다. 아이시스 8.0. 이제 모두 핑크하세요.
답답할 때 마셔봐요 트로피카나. 상큼상큼 과일 듬뿍 스파클링.
리얼 프루트를 스파클링으로.
과즙이 톡톡 쏜다. 트로피카나 스파클링.
스타일? 상쾌하면 되는 거야. 상쾌함의 높이가 다르다. Stylish Sparkling Water 롯데 트레비.
봄꽃책에서 듣다. 있는 그대로 맑고 깨끗하게 피어나라고 겨울을 이겨낸 봄꽃이 내게 말했다. 맑고 깨끗한 칠성 사이다.
(2016) Hot 6 GSL Season 2 Code S.
What's up, guys? We're back here at the GSL Codas. What the hell is going on? MC just beat Zest.
Isn't that crazy, man? If you're just tuning in, well, shame on you.
You missed out.
The Boss Toss just punks Zest 2-1, moves up that winner match. Of course, Zest's not out yet.
No, he's not eliminated, guys.
You just have to win 2 matches or lose 2 matches.
But, you know, honestly, Gumiho and Solar, it won't be easy, but they are capable of beating Zest.
Absolutely, they are.
That is within the realm of possibilities here.
Gumiho is a legit Terran right now, and Solar's been one of the best Zergs in the world for quite some time.
Now, Zest easily the favorite in this group. This is a pivotal moment in this group as well. We got Gumiho coming up here. This guy does not want to lose and have to face off against Zest. If you can avoid Zest and get out of this group,
yes.
Oh man, that's huge.
Especially for him because Zest PBT is like really his biggest strength.
Insane.
Yeah, and Gumiho is a little bit predictable in the matchup, so if I was him, I would definitely try to avoid hitting him. But you know what? I think he probably will avoid hitting him. Gumiho is very, very strong at Terran vs. Zerg, and currently Zergs are having a little bit of a hard time. The thing is, Solar is one of these guys who can kind of, you know, play against the grain. Like Solar is one of the Zergs that can definitely still win.
Let's see what happens here. I think these two guys are very evenly matched.
Yeah, I think it's a very good match.
This is one I really just can't call.
Yeah.
I'm fine with whoever wins. I don't know what the games are going to look like exactly. I think we won't have short games. I know that much at least. Should be pretty long and dramatic.
I would say so.
But let's just see. You know, you look at a player like Gumiho, that play style he has, very high APM, lots of drops and attacks going on all over the place. The guy also has a touch of ingenuity in a lot of his strats. He's a lot of times the guy who's doing strats first.
Yeah, he's cutting edge.
Yeah, he's cutting edge. But beyond that, it's like a little bit of a trickier style to describe. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Gumiho can be very technical and stuff in the early game, and you know he's a really good Terran. He's definitely one of the best.
He's actually
Terrans
been
in the world
around
right now.
forever, by the way.
Yeah, since the very beginning.
He's actually old school.
He was actually originally a random player, guys. Just so you know.
They're the worst. I hate
He was
those
like
guys.
the only professional random in Korea, I believe.
Yeah,
but it wasn't for very long.
We ban that in tournaments now. We do ban that, right?
I don't think it's actually banned.
I think we actually have a rule.
I think that Kespaterns might have it banned. I just remember when he switched, it wasn't because it was banned. He switched because it's too hard to play random. If you're a random player, you're a cheeser.
I thought they banned it because of race picking, where people would like go, oh, okay, it's a Protoss, I only play Zerg or something like that.
Oh yeah, no, like, race picking isn't allowed here.
Okay, maybe that's what it is. Race
picking is not allowed.
But maybe okay. All right. Well,
it doesn't matter. No, if you play random, you actually can't qualify. Sorry, you're not.
Well, there's no way. There's no way you're going to
literally no one in the
playing
world
all 3 races and just trying to hard counter him with lame builds and start.
Yeah.
Like, well, he doesn't know I'm Zerg, so here we go.
Yep.
All right, guys. This is game number 1. Gumiho versus Solar. In the bottom right, in the blue.
MVP Chicken Maru, Gumiho.
It's kind of hard to say Chicken Maru and sound badass. And in the upper left, in the red, our Zerg player.
Samsung Galaxy, Solar.
I love these poses each programmer has done. It's getting so funny and cool. I like in Pro League where they all have a sad face and a happy face. It's so funny.
They photograph the programmers right now, make the face you'd make if you lost, because we got to put that up in case you do lose. All right, so on this map, to start things off, start going for quick hatch, and Terran goes for quick command center. That's just par for the course on this map. This is this is the map that makes for longer games.
It certainly is that. Command center first as quickly as he can get it, so that's kind of cool to see. But yeah, it's going to be a little bit standard stuff coming out here from Solar, and I'm very interested to see exactly what type of strategy or style, rather, that Solar wants to go ahead and use. I really am a fan of, you know, the like one evolution chamber going for, you know, Lings into Roach Ravager for a bit, and then trying to get into the Hive, especially on this map. I really quite like it, but we'll see what he wants to go for. Gumiho definitely going to be pretty scary the first time he moves out.
Yeah, well, Solar's one of those Zergs. I mean, we've talked about this before, but when you're against like a really good Zerg, the feeling you should have is that you can't leave your base ever.
Yeah.
That's like what it's like to play against like the very, very best Zergs. It's like, well, there's Zerg stuff out there, and if it doesn't eat up my army, it's going to counterattack into my base. So yeah, Gumiho's gonna have to be very careful when he does push out.
Certainly. You know, the current Zerg style has so little true anti-air. A lot of times the Medivacs can kind of skirt around some of that stuff. So
that is true.
That's somewhere where Gumiho is going to be really strong.
Yeah, if they do go for some kind of just ground style play, then yeah, I mean, you can definitely start to abuse the Zerg with Medivacs.
Yeah, it's definitely you know, kind of like the meta, I guess, at the moment. But good scouting coming out of Solar here, seeing the timing of that factory coming up. It's a good idea of what's going on both sides.
Lings are now going to come out here and start to spot. It's usually, at least in this current iteration of StarCraft, it's pretty easy for Zerg to get an idea of what Terran's up to get in there, scout him.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like this big balancing act, playing Zerg in situations like this. I mean, you kind of got to see, okay, how hard is he teching? If he's teching really hard, then I can tech myself. I can make more drones. I can expand. Is he pushing hard? Well, then I got to cut back. I gotta at least match and maybe a little bit more than what he has to push me. And that's, I mean, this is kind of true for all matchups, but it's really true in this matchup specifically. Is you're kind of gauging what Terran's going for, you know.
You know, he saw that there was a reactor on the barracks, and he was going for reactored Hellions. So this could be that build that we've seen actually quite a bit of lately, where you go for a bunch of Liberators and a bunch of Hellions, maybe grab an armory for Hellbats as well.
Yeah.
And, you know, with that Speed Overlord, he's going to be able to keep on top of exactly what's going on here from Gumiho. And that's a really strong style right now, so I wouldn't be surprised if that's what we're going to see.
Yeah, we got the Hellion poke coming up here. Going to try to just manage, to some extent, the creep that's being pushed out here. Possibly rotate in, do some scouting, or take out some drones. And it looks like he's going to go for these drones right now.
And some decent harassment so far. He's also getting a good amount of scouting done, I guess. And we'll get out of there with, well, maybe not.
Well, actually, he might. Okay, he does lose that one Hellion. Those other Hellions not able to get up there quite in time.
And right now it is Hellion Liberator. Now, this could go into mech, but it doesn't necessarily have to. We definitely see players go at it both ways.
Yeah,
but
I'd be pretty surprised if Gumiho mech'd. I mean, it would be exciting, but
he's a good mech player.
Yeah.
I like his mech in TVZ for sure. I liked it a lot in Heart of the Storm. We haven't seen it as much, though, in Legacy of the Void out of him.
He's getting that armory, Artosis.
Yeah, definitely wants to get some Hellbats up there. But you know what? Solar's doing everything he needs to do, really, right? He's making a lot of Queens. He's starting to make some Roaches here, throwing up some Spores already, getting some Ravagers. So these are all the tools that he needs to actually hold against this type of very harassment-based opening from Gumiho.
Okay, well, yeah, Solar is doing a good job. He's continuing to try to get the creep pushed out across the map. Got a few more Lings coming up here. It's very important that you don't overextend with these Hellions. So whenever you see anybody go for a dive like this, you got to be you got to be a little bit worried for him. He already lost one Hellion. He's going to come up here now. He's going to where the drones are, the sweet spot here in the main.
Yeah, you know what? There's actually a Spore Bind there that kind of blocks his movement a little bit, but he's getting a lot of drones.
He's got 11 so far, 12. Oh, whoa. Meanwhile, okay, well, the fact that he lost both of those isn't that helpful. If you can kill some drones and keep those moving around, that's good.
Looks like he tried to cancel the third base here of Gumiho, which was being built on the low ground, but that does get cleaned up, unfortunately. So 12 drones going down, but he got rid of all the Hellions, he got rid of all the Liberators, so at least now he should have map control. So that's like something good, but that's a lot of drones to lose early on.
Thing is, too, is that there's going to be a counterattack, and this is why you want to be careful when you send those Hellions out, is if you lose all of them, I mean, a lot of times you're focus firing the drones, right? So you might not have a very big army when the counterattack comes, right? Because you weren't fighting their army in the main, you were fighting their workers. So sometimes, and I think this might be one of those moments right here, right now, is there's just not really anything to contest this army that's at the would-be third base of Terran.
And forces him to lift off and get back, so that's going to help him to kind of catch up economically, and that's really nice. We do have Gumiho going into just regular bio play from here, which I would say we see slightly more often than the mech transition from here, but you know, this is, you know, definitely still anyone's game, I would say. Still want to see, like, Solar really shut down another harassment or so to feel like he's in a good spot, though.
Well, one thing about this matchup, especially if Terran's playing like this, is we want to keep a good eye on how many Liberators are taken out. When they get taked out like that. Because, you know, the Liberators are so central to these late game pushes where the Terran basically maneuvers around the map but eventually sets up this position that Zerg can't reach. But if you start to lose those Liberators, and guys, it's pretty easy to screw that up and lose Liberators.
Yeah.
Because you're busy trying to run around the map and harassing, and you're not trading properly. So he's sending these Liberators out here now. He's also doing the same thing with Medivacs and tanks. Now, this is exactly how Gumiho likes to play. He likes to throw his stuff in your face and see if you can handle it. He's making you juggle as fast as he can.
And most people can't do that.
Yeah.
And look at this. I love this type of move, like you were saying, Tasteless. Getting these out here as the 3 Liberators to kind of, support these tanks a little bit, and he'll be able to kill any creep tumors that are popping up. He's kind of like slowing down the creep spread, but still, Solar, I like the spot that he's trying to get himself into at least, right? He's getting the upgrades for his Roach Ravager, he's getting those speed, and going into Infestation Pit, but not taking up too quickly. He needs to make sure he has a big enough army to hold on against Gumiho.
So, we got the stim coming up, the combat shields. Now, this is very late stim, late combat shields, because Terran did go for this interesting kind of tech here with those Hellions, and then getting the starport up here. It's kind of important to note that when you do see players go for this, they do have a smaller Medic Marine army later on.
Yes.
That if you were to do one of these more basic,
it's a much later
Terran styles.
Yeah, it's kind of like a more later push. Look at this though; it very quickly gets his drones out of there, doesn't lose too much, and has his spores going down. So he will be able to push back those Liberators.
Kind of funny when you look at it. You don't actually normally see somebody have all the Liberators go to one base.
No,
they
not
normally
too
go
often.
one by one to different bases. But
he was hoping to catch him off guard, I think.
Yeah. That's like some high-risk, high-reward stuff here. Ooh. Now, this is a problem here for Solar, because that is hard to breach, and you can actually get most of this out of here if you do it right. Zerg is going to be forced into attacking in here. He's got to be very careful. He cancels.
Yeah, well, he might be able to get 8 Liberator. No, not quite. Very quick moves here by Gumiho.
And in fact, Gumiho's going to continue to try to get this position under control. And looks like 2 Liberators then go down.
Yeah.
Oh, they're the tanks.
Good Corrosive Biles right there.
Yeah.
Gumiho is still just trying to deny as much as he can.
Well, that's all he needs to do, 3 base versus 3 base. It's the Zerg's burden to expand next.
Yeah.
That's like the way the game rolls. So,
yeah, and canceling that 4th base is one of the most powerful things you can do in this matchup. Now, the thing is, he is getting really good upgrades with his Roach Ravager.
Right.
And this is Dusk Towers, so he can play like kind of a slow defensive game here, and he definitely has chances to hold on against these pushes.
He's actually pushing right now.
Yeah.
He's decided he delayed the hatch enough. He's going to try to push again. The push might actually get there around when the hatchery finishes, which means you could get a kill there. That might be enough to start to seal a win.
I don't know if he's going to be able to actually push this down, though. I like Solar's army. He's got 1-1. He's got Fungals. He's got a solid army overall. So, he's leapfrogging forward a little bit with Tank of Axe and with Liberators, but I don't know if that's going to be enough to actually break through here.
He's actually arcing pretty well so far. The Corrosive Biles have been shot down here, obviously with Fungal and Corrosive Bile. That combo is beautifully. That's when you can kill off an army and not even be trading anything. However, Terran now pushing into the center right. A really nice spread here. Siege Tank's over on the ramp.
Yeah, not really.
I don't know if Solar can. Yeah, he didn't. He lost a base.
Nice snipe there by Gumiho getting that 4th base. This is getting very, very tough for Solar.
If I were Gumiho, I'd actually go back home now.
Yes.
I don't think. Okay, but he's not going to do that. But I think it might be wiser to actually just stay home and be safe. But he's going to commit with this push. This might be enough.
It looks like he's coming in very strongly now with all these Roaches and Ravagers, picking off as much as he can with those Corrosive Biles, but Gumiho is doing a fantastic job of killing off the Roaches, and he has to pull back once again.
Yeah, he's stimming forward. He might be able to get... Yeah, he does. He gets that hatch as well. That's another forced cancel there. 2-2 is about to be done here for Terran. I mean, right now, man, Solar is on the ropes. I think Solar might end up just losing this in the next minute here.
Yeah, this is a very tough situation for Solar. I really thought he had enough to hold on to against his first push, but it turns out Gumiho's just his spread, his composition too strong there, and Solar is not really able to do anything here.
Stimming and coming forward now. A nice Fungal, but it's just not enough. GG.
Wow.
Gumiho takes game number 1.
Well done. Well done. Really just coming in with so much force there, onto the 4th base at the first full push out. That's not boding well for Solar here. Gumiho is saying, he feels like the matchup favors Terran a little bit at the moment. He feels like overall he's a little bit favored for Solar anyways. And, it seems to be that way, at least in game number 1.
Gumiho bigger, faster, stronger right now than Solar. Let's see what happens in game 2. I mean, there really wasn't anything fancy that Gumiho did back there.
Yeah.
He just had good harass. He had solid pushes. When he finally got to the point where they had to go head-to-head, his spread was really nice.
Yeah.
he was able to dodge a decent amount of those corrosive vials as well.
I think that the key to his victory there was the 3 Liberator, 2 Tankovac move on the 4th base where he forced the cancel so early. I think that really was a stumbling block for Solar. You know, it cut into his production, it cut into his economy, and that was a tough moment for him, especially after he had already lost 12 drones to a harass around.
Well, let's see. I mean, the only thing I could say for Solar is he's going to have to be a little bit more solid in his defense.
Yeah.
You know, that's one way for Terran to take out his Zerg. If you just harass him enough and trade properly, and your push is going to be stronger than their defense. All right, guys, we are now going to go into game number 2. Gumiho up with a 1-0 lead. Over here in the blue, our Terran player.
MVP Chicken Maru, Gumiho.
The Tal Terran is what we call him. He has, what is it called, hypohidrosis?
Yeah.
Gets sweaty palms, so he plays with a towel over his mouse. Over here in the red.
Samsung Galaxy, Solar.
And Solar, our Zerg player, just a very solid Zerg. I don't feel like there's any key features, I don't know about you, that really stand out. He's just a well-rounded, good
Yeah, he's just kind of good at everything.
Yeah, he's just pretty much got all the boxes marked off on what is a good player, you know?
Scarlet and No Regret down at the studio today. Always forgetting their headset. We got to talk to them about that.
That's right. How are they going to learn about the game without our great commentary?
I don't know, man. It's really sad, though.
So, we got these two guys at a great distance, as you can see on this map here. Now, one thing that's important to note, and this map is a little bit different from a lot of other maps. This map you can very easily chop up into quadrants.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's just look at the Zerg's quadrant and ask yourself the question, how the hell does Zerg take a 4th base?
He's definitely going to be spread quite a bit.
It's going to be a little bit annoying.
And especially when you get to like a 5th base, it's like, okay, let's say you secure the 4, which are the 4 that you would make sense.
Yeah.
When you take that 5th base, you really have to have like some really strong map control to be able to hold on to it.
A lot of Terrans might just make the Zerg sweat it out into the late game because the ability to push those bases later on. And since Zerg is the race that always needs to be ahead in bases, that can be one way to play the game. Now, I don't know if that's the way Gumiho envisions this victory, but it's definitely one option, is to just abuse the fundamental structure and nature of the map.
Yeah, he definitely could be going for that. Right now, he's kind of going, you know, it looks like Reactor Hellions might be on the menu. Could even be going for that same type of opener as last game. Of course, not a Command Center first this time, and he does have a Reaper, but, you know, could definitely be the same idea.
It could go in that direction.
Yeah, Liberators are really, really strong against, you know, not the main base, but the natural, the 3rd, and the 4th. They, you know, there's a lot of areas where they can fly around and harass you, so wouldn't be a bad move, I think.
Okay, so the Reaper's going to come up now. Poke in. Queen will be there to deter that Reaper. It's a dance we've seen many times done before. And yeah, let's go ahead and see what happens this game. It seemed like Gumiho just had much better control in that last game.
Yeah. You know, the 2 points, the 12 drone kill, and then, you know, because that was like kind of early on.
And
yeah, you lost some units,
of the 4th base.
Yeah, I think especially
that's
that
why,
point.
That's why I think this game is going to be a win for Gumiho. If he plays the exact same kind of style of play,
it's a
on this map, I think the 4th base is easier to deny. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I kind of get what you're saying here. You might be right. It looks like he's going for a different style, though. He's actually grabbing a medevac to go with these Hellions.
Yeah.
Maybe an armory coming up on the way pretty soon. We'll see.
Got the Overlord going to come in here and do a little bit of scouting, try to gauge what exactly the direction the Terran is going to bring this game into is at. And he should be able to spot the medevac popping out right now.
And
looks like our observer is suggesting he might be dropping in these locations.
Certainly, and this is going to be hard for him to defend as well because there's just not going to be a lot of anti-air. You don't really rush for mutas very often, I guess, unless you're Bjol. So, you know, he's going to be able to pick up with his medevacs and just fly into the main, fly back and forth and whatnot. That's going to be tough for Solar, but if he can hold on to everything, he can be in a good spot. Definitely a lot of money going into this early harassment. Wow, a lot of damage going down on that Queen.
Yeah, and he's going to get it. Nicely done. There it is. Gumiho doing it again. He's just very good at getting in your face and doing that damage.
And this is not even...
Oh, now that was unfortunate for a drop location because it came out as roaches were hatching.
Yeah. Gonna pick
roaches
up those,
were hatching faster than the Marines got out of the medevac there, so that's too bad.
Picks up the Hellions into the medevac there, and I mean gets away with those at least. I don't know how much more damage she'll be able to get done. More Queens on the way, roaches as well.
Yeah, I think this is the end of the harass for now.
Yeah, it seems that way.
Well, Gumiho says no. He's going to try to go back up into that corner. You can keep Zerg stapled in this spot. You just kind of pin their army where they have to be there, or you can drop in.
And he kind of like has to have all these roaches that aren't really going to do too much for him in this early game other than prevent drone losses. So never fun to make units for that reason.
No, never fun.
Yeah, Liberator on the way.
Okay, good pickup there. Just doing whatever he can to try to just slow down the economy, the economic engine that Zerg is trying to build here to sustain in the late game. He needs to be very careful, though, with that one medevac. That's very low on HP. And a great job here. Another denial.
Yeah.
Queens cannot comfortably get over to this location.
Ouch.
Wow.
A lot of damage on that one. Queen just barely lives through it. 3 Ravagers on the way to help deal with this a little bit more quickly, and that is just being so annoying for him, but he will finally take out the Liberator.
Okay. Well, that's what Solar needs to do. He needs to minimize the damage that he's taking, but he also needs to start picking off these units. You know, whenever you go for harass like this, it can act as a double-edged sword.
Yeah.
You know, you do these medevac drops, you send out Liberators, you run around with Hellions. If you're losing those and not taking out workers or delaying the Zerg, you're just throwing units away.
Yeah, it's very true.
And then when you finally come out for that big push, you die.
Yeah.
You get eaten up by the Zerg army.
Right now, I don't think that there's like any way for Solar to attack quite yet. He is getting the speed upgrade, so that's going to give him a little bit more mobility. But, you know, generally you're going to be the defender for a long time when you're going for this style as Zerg. And Gumiho is coming out again with double Tankovac. So hopefully he's got something prepared for. He does have a drop overlord.
He's going on that sweet spot over there. This is basically always a good idea.
Yeah.
Especially on that spot on this map. It's just very difficult for Zerg to actually keep up. Even the roaches, you know, they don't have a lot of range, so they have to like almost preempt where the tanks land if they want to do damage. And as you can see, in fact, just barely no vision up there.
Yeah, that's really
annoying. So he
annoying.
wasn't able to fight back.
All right, he does have the drop overlord with the Queens in it, so this is like pretty much the best way to counter this if you didn't go mutas. You will be able to basically push that back from here on out. You just kind of target the medevacs.
Guys, this is why we actually have seen Zergs historically a lot of times like to go for mutas. Because it kind of makes it a little bit easier to chase out.
You can smash harass.
Yeah.
You know?
If you catch a drop off guard, it's not even like a fight. It's like you just kill it for free.
Yeah.
And get the lead. But right now we got Solar going for more of that battle Zerg style, where he wants to fight you with a beefy Zerg army head to head.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to go Mutiling Bane right now. You know, you have less larva than you used to. It's just like the game has fundamentally changed quite a bit. You know, the Tankovacs are things that can be used against that as well, though a lot of people just like Widowmine type play. But this is definitely the more popular style, so I like the addition of the Queens in the Overlord. Definitely something Dark brought to the table for the first time in the pro scene in Korea.
So Gumiho's continuing to do that harass. Note that Gumiho took his third base out. That's normally where the Zerg tries to take their fourth base at. Gumiho takes that out there, and that's because he can actually push and make the distance overall a little bit shorter.
Right now we have a massively larger army for Solar. I don't know if he can actually attack, though. I don't really feel like he can.
I don't think so.
And, you know, the thing is, you look at it, you're like, well, that's a lot of supply, but you've got to remember it's base in Roach Ravager.
Right.
And, I mean, the Ravagers kind of, like, add a little bit more power, but overall, when you have a lot of Roaches in your army, the supply is not as meaningful as you might think.
Well, supply can be disproportionately big, and it doesn't necessarily lend itself to who's ahead. But
he's going to try it.
Yeah, he's going for it right now. Takes out that one Liberator. Now putting the pressure on tanks in pretty good position.
Yeah, and he's actually doing a Ling Drop in the main base at the same time. Bringing these Queens in the Overlord, I like that as well. Gets some damage done, but kind of as we were saying, it's not like a force that's going to be able to kill Gumiho right now.
All right, he's going to come in here with these Liberators, try to set up, take out the Queens and the drones. Meanwhile, the Zerg is attacking a nice flank over here from above.
Well, maybe he will be able to do something more. Tasteless comes up from behind, and Gumiho is not ready. Maybe he was microing those Liberators. Does have a lot of siege tanks here at the third base.
And actually the tanks are starting to get juggled backwards here, but it looks like the main may be exposed. He's not lifted up the ramp.
He's got to be careful, though. That is just Ravagers. You can't fight with just Ravagers. You need Roaches in front of them.
Ravagers just alone are basically not good.
Yeah.
You need them with backup. He's starting to break through here. The Army Berserker's getting a little bit sparse. Meanwhile, these Liberators still doing damage over here.
The Tankovacs cleaning up a lot of these units, a lot of drones, a lot of SCVs dead as well. But you know what? At the end of the day, when you look at the actual armies here, I feel like Gumiho's doing fine.
Yeah.
When you're reducing the supply count of a Roach Ravager Zerg this significantly, I mean, when we hit lower supplies later in the game, I feel like Terran gets a really big edge over Protoss and Zerg.
Yeah, I think you're correct.
In lower amounts.
There's a lot of utility you can get with a small number of Terran units. You can really eke out insane amounts of damage and harass. I think Zerg, it's kind of the opposite.
Yeah.
So we see him actually doing a push across here. You can see the confidence here of Solar was actually morphing here in the middle of the map. And Gumiho continues to push now, mowing down these Ravagers. The Stiv Marines able to stutter step forward and actually assassinate these Ravagers before they get to the safety of the creep.
Very painful there, losing so many Ravagers. Maybe getting a little bit ahead of himself, morphing them so close to Gumiho's base. Gumiho with this killer instinct, loading up a medevac, going towards the main base and continuing to push up the middle.
All right, Zerg now going to try to shove down here. Does he have enough, though? The siege tank's getting juggled away from the Ravager, Corrosive Bile.
And he's actually dealing some decent damage. A drop into the main base. Some Roaches and Lings are there, so he will be able to clean that up actually quite well. Gumiho was definitely banking on that drop, doing a bit more than it did. Tankovacs being pushed out as well.
You can see that Solar's very quickly getting close to remaxing here. And Gumiho, his harass this time has not been the same as it was in Game 1. Gumiho was definitely taking big leads every time he sent anything out on the map. It did a lot of damage.
Yeah, he definitely went for like kind of a different style in this game. Not as many Liberators as early on, but definitely used a lot of those Hellions and hasn't done the same amount of damage to Solar. So, Solar's sitting here on 4 bases, still being harassed a bit for sure, but he's had a more solid economy for the entire game compared to last game.
Okay, did Solar overextend? Gumiho trying to dive in on this while avoiding that army on the right side. And circling around here, the tanks come in. Kind of an odd position. The tanks look like they were intended to pick up, but the medevac's already holding the tanks here now. Solar is going to swallow up this army here.
Oh, he does pick up into those medevacs. No real anti-air able to do that. Another Ling drop in the main base, getting some SCVs. Pretty cool. The attack continues forward from Solar. This is not that big an army, but Gumiho doesn't have a lot left either, so does have to pull out of his third.
Solar might be able to take this game here. It's going to be 2 bases versus 4 right now. If he does force that command center to lift off, really, Solar not contested at all here, and we're seeing a nearly maxed out Zerg against a below 100 supply Terran here, Artosis.
Yeah, it's kind of tough right now for Gumiho to hang on here. His economy is really weak. It's in shambles, not even mining from his third base. His army is half the supply. Nothing's really going right. He does have 3-3 about to finish, which is nice, but when you're this far down an army, I don't know if that's going to be enough.
Okay, he's coming over here, and I think this might be able to swallow up the Terran's army. Solar a little bit disorganized, though. Okay, he's going to come in here. There's not going to be any convenient location to shuffle the tanks still.
The Marine Marauder actually being pretty efficient right now. Some of the Roaches being split off. A Roach drop, in fact, coming down as well.
Well, this is how you can really exploit a Terran that's got low supply, is they just can't be everywhere at once.
Totally.
Doesn't matter how fancy you are with your small army. If you're just hitting enough locations, the Terran army can't keep up.
And he's doing a great job with that. But Gumiho still kind of all over the place, pushing forward with some bio in the center of the map, picking off actually quite a bit of Roaches. The Tangovac's pushing off the rest of the army as well. Gumiho's multitasking really coming into play here.
Yeah, you can see that he's not just a good multitasker when it comes to harassing, but actually just trying to defend everywhere at once. He's doing a really good job. Now he's counter-pushing over here. He's actually drawing the Zerg army all the way back. He's going to pick up. Is he going to be able to get out? He does.
Yeah, those medevacs really doing a great job for him with the lack of anti-air here from Solar. Solar has skipped anything like an infestation pit, like Hive Tech, to be able to have such a big army to try to do these big attacks against Gumiho. He hasn't killed him yet, but he's getting close.
Yeah, you can see that Solar is just staying at this tech. He's trying to out-muscle Gumiho in this game by just having a bigger army that he can fight in more key parts of the map. Gumiho is doing a good job of these guerrilla harasses all over the place, but it might not be enough at the end of the day.
No, maybe not. A big push coming up right now. Gumiho actually not microing. I'm not sure what he's doing. Oh, he's actually microing over at the fourth base here of his opponent, but this army is getting so big. And without siege tanks here, I don't know that he can hold this.
Well, this might be the breaking point, because if he can breach up the ramp, then he's going to be on top of production. And especially with Roach Ravager, Terran just dies.
Yeah.
Everything that pops out just dies immediately.
You're very right about that.
So he's getting close. I mean, that depot's at about half health right now. Firing those corrosive vials. He's not going for the depot yet. Instead, he's going to try to face these Marines off head-to-head. This is going to be a bit of a gamble if Gumiho has good enough control, and it looks like he does manage to hold this. But for how long? That's the big question.
Gumiho luckily still mining a little bit, still trying to get an army together to do something. Don't forget that Solar is behind on tech. He's behind on upgrades.
That's right.
I mean, he's winning in the other ways, which is quite important, but definitely something to keep in mind here. Gumiho is not staying in the game for a bad reason.
That's right. No. Gumiho is hanging on because he knows if he can eventually weather this storm, he can actually possibly win this game. However, I think with this army being of this size, I don't know what exactly Gumiho can do. I mean, Solar just has more.
It doesn't seem like there's really anything left for him at this point.
It's 37 supply for Terran with no SCVs.
Yeah. And make as many mule jokes as you want, but no SCVs is a very low number.
GG. Solar takes game number 2, tying the series up at 1-1.
Really, really solid play there out of Solar. You know, I didn't think his initial Roach Ravager attack would do as much as it did, but he found some ways in. He did some decent damage with that attack, and that really helped him out, as well as all his great defense at home.
Okay, so it's all going to come down to this one game. Remember, the winner goes on to face off against MC, and the loser goes on to face off against Zest.
Crazy world we live in.
There's a chance, guys, that Zest doesn't even get out of this group today.
There's a real chance. There's a real chance. Gumiho and Solar are not pushovers. These are two of the best players in the world right now.
Absolutely.
We're not used to saying that about Gumiho or even Solar that much, but these guys are so super legit at the
some of the best form they've ever been in.
Absolutely agree with you.
All right, guys, we're going to go to game number 3. It's going to be loading up in just a second. It's going to be on our StarCraft 2 classic map, King Sejong Station.
King Sejong Station, there's a lot of room for harassment here with Liberators, with Hellions. I think that Gumiho should be pretty happy about what map we're finding ourselves on in game number 3.
Well, let's see what happens. It's an old map. We've seen a lot of different innovative strats used on, but we're now here in the more hardened meta of Legacy of the Void. Let's see what these guys do this time around. It's all going to come down to this last one game. In the upper left in the blue, our Terran player. He is
MVP Chicken Maru, Gumiho.
And in the bottom right, in the red, our Zerg player.
Samsung Galaxy, Solar.
In a world.
Dude, look at this beautiful stage right now with like all these awesome Hot 6 GSL things in the city, and you guys can't see anything I'm talking about unless you're in the audience, but damn, it looks good in here.
You guys also can't see what pants Artosis is wearing today. He's got these bright red shorts on.
They're gym shorts, actually. Yeah.
No, you wore gym shorts here today.
Yeah.
It looks
They're clean though. They're clean. I didn't take them out of my gym bag. They're clean.
It's when I look
it's
at you
laundry
right
day
now,
actually.
because you have a blazer
house.
and a tie. And it's like somebody took the outfit randomizer and just like hit a button. And that's what you're wearing now.
Yeah, they did that with every piece of Mutasis. Look at me. Come on.
All right. Well, let's see what happens this time around. I think this is a map that these guys should have a pretty even fight on. There's no odd features that make me think like, ooh.
I feel like it's a little bit favored for Gumiho just because of like
the harass.
Yeah, like where do you take your fourth base Zerg, and just that back open mineral line is Liberator heaven at the natural.
Okay,
it's just
I like what you're saying there. That's very true.
There's no way that Gumiho doesn't get quick
Liberators. Whenever you have like, an expansion where the minerals face towards the direction that your opponent is at, it's not a good sign if they can get Liberators or Artosis. It's like it's very easy if they don't have to like crawl all the way around the corners of the map and get behind your main to harass you. Terrans are going to like that.
Yeah, I mean, I think the map is great. I still love the map, but I think it became a much better Terran map in Legacy of the Void than it was in Heart of the Swarm for sure. I think it was one of our better, more balanced maps in Heart of the Swarm in here. Maybe a little bit Terran favored overall, but we'll see how Gumiho ends up approaching this, but I really wouldn't be surprised if he goes for just like Hellion Liberator.
Yeah, I think that would be fine. He's already done a lot. He's had a lot of success with Hellions already. Reaper coming in here now. This Reaper should be able to get out, no problem. He does not opt to jump into the main. Just going to keep it safe here and try to do anything he can to control the creep pushing coming out here on the map.
And good job so far. Just kind of poking in. This is all standard stuff you guys always see in every Terran vs. Zerg, just about. And it looks like, okay, just not going Reactor Hellions quite yet here. Just kind of making Marines. Okay, there we go. I was going to say, I'm like, well, I think Hellions are probably pretty good.
Well, he's